Okay, when last we met, we were talking about how to fill out that QEP assessment report, and we came to a small problem in the header. Remember that we needed to know how to fill out the portion that regarded HIP level, whether our HIP was first year, developing, or senior level. We need to know how HIP is your HIP. So, that top portion of the form, again, this is the section we're talking about, the HIP level. And to know what HIP level you're dealing with, you need to access the taxonomies. Now, where do you get those? The taxonomies, again, are available on EagleWeb. Go to OIRE and then QEP. Find the taxonomy that corresponds to your HIP, whether it's the undergraduate research taxonomy, internship, service learning, or the study abroad taxonomy. And in fact, let's cut to another video right now to show you how to do that. Here we are to get our QEP assessment report taxonomies. I am logged into EagleWeb and I'm going to, that's right, OIRE. And then in OIRE, I'm going to come over here to QEP. And then I have the QEP assessment reports. Here's where you get the report. Here's the objectives and SLOs. And here are the taxonomies: undergraduate research, internship, study abroad, service learning. I click on undergraduate research because that's what I'm going to be evaluating. It comes in and downloads. I open it up in Word, and there you have it. And that's how you get it. Back to you. And we're back. So let's look at how you're gonna score that taxonomy after you have downloaded it. So I have here a portion of the undergraduate research taxonomy. And what we're going to do is we're going to read through these different criteria and select 0, 1, 2, 3, or 4. Research question. The research question is a summarization of specific topics. That's not research. That's worth 0 points. Known outcome. Professor is aware the research question has a known outcome with clear answers to the question that are available in the literature. The student research will end once the correct literature is located. Kind of research-ish. It's really more developing that literacy, developing research literacy, but not really research. Suspected known outcome. The professor suspects there is existing research that addresses in total the research question, but is not immediately aware of the literature. This is kind of, that's an interesting idea. I think people have studied it, but I'm not exactly sure where. Suspected contribution. The professor is unaware of a known outcome, but is aware of other lines of research and suspects the question may be an original contribution to the field. And then finally, the hippest of this category, level 4, certain contribution. The professor strongly suspects the question is an original contribution in a known field of study. So we would mark it as appropriate. Let's say that we got a 4. This is a certain contribution. Maybe we're looking at aromatherapy and its effect on cortisol levels. The professor is pretty sure there are no known studies, so that would be a certain contribution. Literature review. This would be the second criterion. Literature review does not extend beyond the textbook level sources or provided course materials. That's not research. That's here, find what I'm giving you. Literature review requires following citations provided in course materials. Again, that's developing literacy, but it's not quite research. Literature on the topic is widely cited and directly assessed in peer-reviewed journals and requires student initiative to locate. So they have to go out and look for it, but the search process is going to be fairly easy. Literature is available that directly addresses the topic in peer-reviewed journals or original documents and requires student initiative to locate it. So this is maybe a little bit more obscure research, but the question is directly addressed. And then, of course, the hippest of these, literature addressing the question requires consultation of specialized journals or original sources, synthesis of an array of existing research, and requires extensive student initiative to locate. So here they may not even find pat answers to the questions, but they may just find things surrounding their question that informs how they should conduct their research, but there's no exact match to what they're looking for. All right, time frame. Student can complete the research within 4 or fewer hours. That's not research. Sustained effort over the course of 2 or 3 weeks is required. 1 point. Sustained effort over the course of half a semester is required. 2 points. Sustained effort spanning the entire semester is required. 3 points. Sustained effort over the course of multiple semesters is required to complete the research. 4 points for that. Feedback. This is feedback from the professor to the student as they are conducting the research. Feedback occurs once as an assessment of the entire research experience. No, that's just getting graded. Research researcher is encouraged to seek feedback from the professor by appointment, but not required. Structured feedback occurs at 1 or 2 predetermined intervals in the research process. That's 2 points. Structured feedback occurs and is necessary at 3 or 4 predetermined intervals. Level 3, structured feedback is ongoing throughout the research experience. Okay, that's the hippest level. And public demonstration. No public demonstration of competence is expected or required. No points. The results warrant presentation to course mates. The results likely to warrant presentation to the university community of scholars. That's worth 2 points. The results of the research likely to warrant presentation to state or regional community of scholars. That's 3 points. Or the results of the research likely to warrant presentation to a discipline-specific community of scholars. That's a level 4 points. So then we would go through and add those up. Let's say we had 4, 4, 3, 3, 4. 4 plus 4 is 8, plus 3 is 11, plus 3 is 14, plus 4 is 18. And then we consult the handy-dandy chart. And our 18 points qualifies it as senior level. Between 9 and 14, that qualifies that as a developing HIP. And from 4 to 8, that qualifies it as a first-year level HIP. Now, this taxonomy process, there's really kind of the reason it was developed was to more accurately define what an actual HIP is. Now, the spirit of HIPs all reside in the senior level HIP. We have added these 2 other developing categories, first year level HIP and developing HIPs, to provide a little bit of scaffolding for our underclassmen, really. Underclassmen, maybe juniors, so that they can get into what a HIP feels like, and then hopefully they would encounter a senior level HIP later on in their coursework. Okay, so that covers how to complete that top section, how to fill out the HIP level. Next part of the assessment form is this, and this is where you actually provide an assessment of the 5 learning objectives associated with global pathways or with professional development. So you will need to fill this out on the QEP assessment report. But you may be asking, where do you get the assessment data? That's a great question. Up next, we will talk about how you get the data for your assessment, and it involves using the reflection prompts and the supplied grading rubric. See you in the next video.